Welcome back to the Paul Watson Project. I'm your host, Walker Bruns. I'm excited to bring you the week 2 preview here live in the studio. We've got some exciting show for you today. I've got a special guest and I've got a special segment for you as well. But before we get into that, I just have some brief thoughts about what happens between week 1 and week 2. That is one word: overreactions. I've got 3 overreactions for you. 1, that Jimmy G has got to start over Trey Lance if the San Francisco Giants is going to win any games. I think that's an overreaction. Number 2, Saquon Barkley's back, and he's going to carry the Giants to some wins this year. It's happened once, not going to happen again. Number 3, my favorite one, Rodrigo Blankenship, a career 83% field goal kicker, straight up cut off the Colts because he missed a kick. Well, that's life in the NFL for you. We've got a segment coming up. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's our Boom Roasted segment. Let's jump in.
I just spent the afternoon trying to feed the pigeons. I guess they all flew west for the winter. I have some thoughts that I'd like to share with you people. Zach Tinsley, wait, you actually won last year? Boom, roasted. Austin, your brother sure did draft a good team for you. Boom, roasted. David, you spend money so fast in the draft, I'm surprised you even have a team. Old habits die hard. Boom, roasted. Travis, you send sucky trades like Putin in the Griner case. Boom, roasted. Stanley, Bozier, you crush your wife during sex, and your team sucks. Good luck with the running back depth you have. Boom, rusted. Jake, your starting team looks great, but did you forget to draft after the 7th round? Boom, roasted. Rob, 2 words for success: waiver wire. Get to spending. Boom, roasted. Alex, what happened to you during the draft? Your running backs are just as bad as your team name. Boom, roasted. Ryan, do you even watch any NFL games? Boom, roasted. Walker, the only question is, when will the twin towers you have fall? Boom, roasted. Nick, your receivers sucked and your tight end laid an egg. Boom, roasted. I hope it's going to be a great year for you guys.
This segment brought to you by Pfizer, the #1 brand for vaccine-related injury. Well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the Boom Roasted segment of our show. That's always one of my favorites. In fact, we've got Zach Lane joining me in just a few moments. Going to give some of his insights on the week 2 matchups here in the Paul Watson Project. He was formerly known as Taco, although I feel like that name is starting to wear off based on his recent performances in the Paul Watson Project. I'm interested to hear what he has to say. Let's see what he's got.
All right, Zach Lane, welcome to the show. It's good to see you.
Yes, gentleman and a scholar. How are you, Walker?
Doing well. Well, I'm excited to jump into the week 2 games here. Our first matchup I want to go into is Roger Goodell, which is Nick, your brother, versus Say My Name, David Smith. And actually, hold up. I'm getting some news here from my producer. There's been a trade, actually, for one of the teams we're about to discuss. David Smith has traded DJ Chark to Travis Stouffer's team for Tom Brady. This is big news here. Tom Brady for DJ Chark. Wow. I wasn't expecting that right off the bat. But here we go. What are your thoughts on Roger Goodell versus Say My Name?
All right. Well, David has 2 bears, and Nick has 1 bear that he'll probably drop. And as my good friend Jim said to Dwight, bears eat beets, Battlestar Galactica. Nick wins this matchup, getting more production from Williams this week, I believe, and he'll win it going 107.06 to 93.12. That's my prediction on that one.
Wow. Good prediction there. You're in line with Yahoo's prediction. They had a 12-point favorite for Nick's team. I'm also looking at these 2 teams here. The 2 teams that finished last in points last week. Both of these teams need a win, need some momentum going into the next week. CD Lamb on Roger Goodell's team, I'm not thinking he's going to have a good week for a little while here because of the Dak Prescott injury. But then again, with that trade news, Say My Name, David's team totally built around Tom Brady, as I said last week. Now Tom Brady's gone. Now this team's just built around nobody. You have to look at this front office and question the firing of the manager from last season, taking back over his team. There's a lot of question marks around the front office. However, this is my upset pick of the week. I think this is going to be David's only win this season. I've got David pulling this one out, but it's going to be his only win of the season.
Wow. All right.
Let's move on here to Cam $47 Akers, who is Travis's team, who's a 12-point favorite over Kyler. I barely know her. Alex Day's team. What are your thoughts here?
All right. Well, Alex literally has no running back that I trust, and Pitts, the tight end, he seems to really have no true point to him. I haven't really seen a ton of production from him yet. And I mean, Alex spent all that money, and Alex gets a swift kick to the pants in this one, and it's a blowout. I'm going to say 107.79 to 89.34 on this matchup.
Very precise. We'll see if that preciseness comes true. When I look at Travis's team, seemed like a poor showing in week 1 for a lot of the players. One guy scoring 0 points, but he still pulled it out. To me, this is a team that if CEH, if he has a big year, then this team is going places. But if CEH is back to his old form, I don't see it going anywhere. Going up against Alex's team, I saw this as a team with a bunch of guys that really actually reached their ceiling in week 1. I don't see Pittman or Judy repeating their output from week 1 again this whole season. I think they've already reached their maximum. My prediction here is Travis, only because I don't see myself predicting Alex to win any games this season. It's just not a good team in my opinion. But Travis is my prediction there. Let's move on to the next one. 2 in the Brown, 1 in the Zeke. Jake Bozier's team, a really close 0.5 point favorite over Fill My Cup. Rob, this is going to be a close one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so Bozier's name, that's what she said. I've been mean to Stanley, Bozier, but sometimes the ends justify the mean. Rob wins with a big comeback game from Henry. I will say that. I think Henry, for some reason, he just pulls it back. I'm pretty sure he's got a pretty hard matchup against the team he's playing, but I think he still pulls it out, has a big game. They're going to have to run the ball. That defense has looked good. I'm pretty sure it's Buffalo that they're playing, if I'm correct. And I'm going to say he wins 113.03 to 98.76.
Who is the he? Who do you have winning that game?
So that would be Rob.
You got Rob winning it.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
I
look at Bozier's team last week. 31% of his scoring came from Patrick Mahomes. He's going to have to do that every week if he wants to win. I just don't see that as being sustainable. Going up against Rob with a quarterback who is Bozier's arch nemesis. This is what I like about this. It's a tight matchup, and Lamar Jackson here, I think, is going to be the deciding factor. And Rob's got a deeper team. I just think Rob pulls this one out. over Bozier, even though Yahoo sees Bozier as the favorite. I guess the Holy Spirit's talking to me and
Right.
not having Bozier again this week.
Well,
But
I feel the same way almost about Bozier's team as I do about who was the last person we said?
who, Alex?
Yeah, about Alex's team. Like I feel like okay, their team for some reason to me it when we got done with the draft, they looked bad. And usually it's me looking at my team saying I look bad. Like this looks terrible. I'm going to have a lot of work to do on the waiver wire. I'd say this is my first year that I don't have to say that. But I feel like Alex and Bozier's team, like you said about Alex, each week he could lose. I feel the same way sometimes about Bozier's team, just his keepers are keeping him alive. And that's like
Funny you
it.
say that though, because both of these teams are 1-0, and
I
you're sitting
know.
here at
It's
0-1.
I
It's the way
know.
the
It's
cookie crumbles.
exactly. And Alex beat
Let's
me last week, so whatever.
let's move on to Cool Runnings, who is Zach Tinsley versus Connor and Sound Jake Bellwood. I feel like this is a rivalry matchup. What you got here?
This is two big teams. I'd say it's two of the top four teams. We'll talk about my kind of top other four teams later on. But just quoting another famous person here, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and Zach is taking his shots at people in his videos. So he will win this week, I believe, beating Jake 133.33 to 99.99. Don't
Like
know if
that
that's even
prediction there.
possible, but it sounded cool.
I like it. I like it. When I look at Zach's team, it's a team that has a lot of interesting players. And it's a team that I see it's going to squeak into the playoffs. I think it's one of those borderline teams. He shouldn't give up on his team yet. But the downside here, he still has Joe Mixon. If your team has Joe Mixon, I don't think you have a chance to win. Even though he did it last year, I still don't know how. And Stafford's hurt, just another red flag for me. When you look at Connor and Sound, had Josh Allen, the number 2 scoring quarterback on the week, and he really looked like he actually could have played better somehow, even though he scored all those points. Yahoo knows what it's talking about. This team's going undefeated, going all the way. Another win for Jake here. He's an 8-point favorite. I'm going with Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yahoo's never wrong, especially about Jake's team. Um,
You you
now let's
you
move
sure
on.
do believe in this great phantom Yahoo, but what I see with Zach's team is I think whoever said it, I don't know who said it in the group text, but G Davis, I mean Gabriel Davis is just seems to be his season. Like he's gonna go off. I know it's only been one game, but he seems like he is gonna get some good points, and then to have Mixon and to have Jones, I feel like he's gonna start moving up. I don't think he should give up on his team in any way. I mean, just like he didn't last year, I think he'll be just fine this year.
Yeah,
So
agreed there. Let's move on to our next game here. Eckler, I hardly even know her, who's Austin Stover versus Ryan's team, who is aptly named. What are your thoughts here?
all right, so the second receiver is just like a question mark for Ryan, but that's about it on his team. I mean, he's got a Ryan has a pretty good team this year. His team is the best. Like my intern Ryan's smile, very nice. But seriously, I would say Ryan's team. I hate saying this about Ryan, but it's probably one of the top 4 teams in the league this year. I know he watches a lot of college football, but drafting on the phone might just be his thing. It went well for him. He's got 2 of the best here, and I'm gonna say Ryan wins against Austin, 128.02 to 102.76.
Oh, you're seeing a real big victory there for Ryan. When I look
Yeah.
at Austin's team, it's a team that I really like from top to bottom. I see Austin's team going far this year. This could be his year. I really like it. I'm a big fan of it. But then I look at Ryan's team. I don't like it as much long term. but it's a team that's carrying a lot of momentum from week one. He was the highest, he had the highest rushing yards in the league last week, but he also had the lowest receiving yards in the league last week. An interesting dynamic here for Ryan's team. I look for the momentum to continue for Ryan this week, but I don't see it happening long term. I do have Ryan this week, though. Austin loses another heartbreaker. He's going to put up some points and still lose this one. Let's move on to our final game of the week, the most anticipated matchup out there, Acid Playground, which is myself versus Barack, your mama, which is yourself. So
Right.
we got an interesting matchup here. What's your take here?
I'm going to say you might win, but I'm a little stitious. I'm going to say my team, it's just like every year, I got receivers that are question marks. I'm trying to make sure I fill in my flex the correct way. I'm hoping that I win, and I think this is going to be like the closest game of the week. I'm going to say I win 107.32 to 106.98.
All right. You really see my team dropping off a cliff coming down to your level, then.
Yeah, you and your 100, what was it, 43 points last week? I'm
Yeah, it was
hoping
a
that
lot.
doesn't happen
But
again.
this is really, to me, the matchup of the receivers. I actually had the most receiving yards in the league last week, but I think my rushing game gains its footing this week. I think McCaffrey gets back to running. He gets his feet under him. He has a good week. And then you had the
I'm hoping he
highest
keeps
scoring.
his feet, but I'm also hoping he injures his feet. That'd be great.
That's more likely, actually. The highest scoring player in the league this week was on your team, Justin Jefferson. But then you still couldn't win. He accounted for 34% of your points. He needs to
You don't have to tell
have a
me.
deeper team, but I think the rest of your team actually bounces back this week. They had a rough first week. Don't overreact. It's a good squad. My prediction is you as well. I think this is the week that the injury bug finally hits me, and I go down. I've seen a lot of injuries for my team this week, so I've got you with the victory here. Well,
All right.
any other thoughts?
I'm just hoping, we win another Dundee. And I feel like my draft finally got me a Dundee there. But I'm just hoping y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all get some good laughs out of it. I've enjoyed doing this week. So I think this week's going to be telling of, whose team's going to be consistent, whose team's, going to be all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a big week to see where everyone stands, whether their teams who are down are ready to bounce back, fight back, or whether it's going to be a long year for some people. But yeah, it was great having you on, Zach. I'm going to get back to the studio and get back to the show. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you.
Well, that about wraps up our show. As always, I want to thank our guest today, Zach Lane, for coming on and providing that insight for us. And looking forward and hoping for some big wins for each of you this week. I'm excited for week 2 of the Paul Watson Project. Go get them!